State-owned arms manufacturer Denel can only afford to pay its employees 85% of their salaries this month. In a statement sent out to staff, the group's CEO says this is due to the company's ongoing liquidity challenges. Management says it is working to ensure the rest of the salaries will be paid as soon as possible. Trade unions, meanwhile, are slamming the move. Solidarity says the company undertook to notify workers by the 15th of the month if its salaries will indeed be paid. The Liberated Metal Workers Union, on the other hand, says the financial crisis has been inflicted by the board and by management. It's demanding the company pay for any penalties incurred due to unpaid debit orders. The union also says interests accrued on the remaining 15% of salaries must be paid to staff. Now, for more on the story now, we're joined on the line by the Deputy General Secretary of the Liberated Metal Workers Union of South Africa, Mawonga Madola. Thanks very much for your time this morning, sir. I suppose it's a double-edged sword here. On the one hand, 85% of salaries being paid. On the other hand, workers being notified last night on their salaries that will be paid today.
Thank you, Michelle, and good morning to the listeners as well. Indeed, this is a crisis not only because this payment is 85% of the salaries, but further to that is that this information was received only last night. It was sent to workers last night. So workers have now got a situation where today is the date of their income, which ordinarily workers will then have certain debit orders that will be proceeding into their account. And this will then create a serious cost implication on our members as a result of this conduct by the employer.
I mean, it's difficult to swallow the explanation given by Danel. If I look at your statement that you've issued in response to salaries being paid short, the group CEO himself, besides his monthly salary, you're telling us in your statement, has received a 600,000 rand relocation fee, 1.5 million rand, and he's also apparently expecting to get 50% of his annual income in June, as per his KPAs set out by the Danel board. So where is this financial crisis, and why doesn't it affect all of Danel's staff?
This is exactly our concern, Michelle, is that this is what we described as a self-inflicted crisis. And it is not consistent to have a situation when you have this CEO who is then having these large exorbitant bonuses in the light of this crisis that workers are unable to pay their basic salary, while the CEO is getting paid a relocation fee over 500,000 rand and 1.5 of bonuses. So there's our concern that there is no justification for this development.
I'm sure you've been in touch with your members on the ground. This must be a massive blow to everyone, really. You've budgeted for a certain amount of money at the end of the month. You have obligations, school, healthcare, food, clothing, a roof over your head. They must be struggling to come to terms with how this will take them through the rest of the month and next month.
Yeah, this is exactly our concern, is that for members, this is a serious blow and a serious crisis going to come at the eve of the salary income. So it's caused a panic amongst members. We have engaged them to say we're going to take the matter forward to the company. We have requested an urgent meeting, and that meeting must talk to the payment of the rest of the 15%. And further to that, the commitment that this crisis will be resolved. That's why we are making a call over and above this crisis. We are making a call for a resignation of the group CEO. So, in our view, is that he has failed in his responsibility to effect a turnaround strategies for the company, because the financial liquidity challenges in Denel are not something new. And the group CEO was tasked to turn around the institution. And in our view, he has failed to do so. And that's why we're calling for him to tender his resignation as part of taking responsibility for this crisis.
So outside of these demands that you've made, I mean, you've also asked for any unpaid debits, for any penalties that are incurred due to any unpaid debits in terms of your members, that be covered by the company, that they also receive interest on that remaining 15%. Further to this meeting that you've requested with management at Denel, is there any other action you'll be taking, perhaps together with other unions?
Yes, we are looking at exploring legal actions as well, because there is a legal requirement to pay salaries as per the contract of employment. So here there is a requirement in law to do that. And clearly the employer has not committed to that. So we are looking at exploring that legally, and if we were to bring an application urgent interdict to enforce the company to pay salaries, we'll have to do that. But we are looking at that. We are seeking legal advice as well.
All right, well, thanks very much for your time on ENCA. Now, on the line to us there, Deputy General Secretary of the Liberated Metalworkers Union of South Africa, Mawonga Madola. That's one of the unions involved and representing Danel employees who have been paid today only 85% of their salaries.